Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for February 1, 2024. Please remember to leave a comment, like, and share. And in the news this afternoon, bail extended for St. Catherine man allegedly held with ganja. St. Catherine resident Ronald Williams, who was allegedly held with ganja, is scheduled to reappear in court on February 12 after his bail was extended. Williams, 60, of Sydenham Villa, Spanish Town, St. Catherine, is charged with possession of ganja and dealing in ganja. When the case was mentioned in the St. Catherine Parish Court on Wednesday, he pleaded not guilty. Attorney Sheldon Campbell told the court that his client was innocent. The lawyer explained to the court that his client declared to the police that other persons had access to the area in which the drug was allegedly found. I have received a call from another occupant of the premises that he can assist the investigators in the matter, Campbell said. The matter was then postponed for case management to be undertaken. It is alleged that on December 28, 2023, police swooped down on a Sydenham Villa address. A search was conducted of a one-bedroom dwelling and several bags were discovered with vegetable matter resembling ganja and weighing 1 pound. Williams, who was present, was arrested and subsequently charged. JUTC fare reduction come April will only apply to Smarter Card users. JUTC Smarter Card holders will be the only commuters to benefit from the additional 50% fare reduction come April 1. This is according to Transport Minister Darrell Vaz, who said the Smarter Card holders will receive another added benefit. The minister said the move is in a bid to ease delays caused by the existing fare collection system and to promote a more technology-driven process.
MSET is now preparing a cabinet note for the use of a completely cashless system for the proposed reduction in bus fares effective April 1st, 2024. In essence, commuters who pay their fares using a smart card come April 1st will benefit from the 50% fare reduction. In addition, they will receive an added benefit of 3 free rides, which will apply to both current and new card holders. So we are trying to incentivize them to utilize a cashless system, which is better for everybody because obviously it means that the flow of the loading of the buses can move much quicker. It pains my heart and my soul. I see, and there is no seating, and there is no hovering from the elements. And there is absolutely no hovering from the elements. It is unacceptable. There are other things in relation to low-hanging fruits. We are going to be putting in guardrails at the Halfway Tree Transport Center and the other centers downtown, because what I see is a very dangerous situation where the interaction between the users and the buses are way too close. And how we have not had a tragedy already is by the grace of God.
NRSC concerned as the motorcyclists continue to die in road crashes. The National Road Safety Council is again raising concern as the motorcyclists continue to die in road crashes. Dr. Lucien Jones, Vice Chair of the NRSC, says that the trend continues despite interventions, including training of motorcyclists. 2 men traveling on a motorcycle died Tuesday night on the Richpen Main Road in St. Elizabeth after the vehicle collided with a Toyota Axio motorcar traveling in the opposite direction. They were not wearing safety gear. Dr. Jones is warning motorcyclists to take heed.
We need to remind people constantly that driving a motorcycle is a very dangerous thing. You have to take extra care. And worst of all, when you have somebody driving with you as a pillion. We have had far too many motorcyclists who have died. 1 year, a couple years ago, it went up as much as 150, and the number is climbing again. So we want to make an appeal to the motorcyclists. Wear your helmet, slow down, be alert, be very careful, do not speed, stay in your lane.
NHD Managing Director rejects the calls for his resignation. Managing Director of the National Housing Trust, Martin Miller, says he does not believe the calls for his resignation from his post are warranted as he followed the prescribed protocols. the calls for resignation come in relation to a non-disclosure agreement between the NHD and the developer, Dexim Holdings Limited. Following a court order, NHD and the Dexim agreed to end their contractual agreement and for the developer to refund the $650 million down payment the NHD had made with an additional $20 million. In response to a question on Radio Jamaica's Beyond the Headlines on Wednesday, Mr. Miller said he does not see the rationale behind the calls for his sacking, as all the rules were followed. I followed the rules, I followed the established practices of the organization, and that's what we have done, he insisted. The failed deal is a blow for some NHD contributors who had high hopes of owning one of the houses, which was initially selling for less than $13 million. Now on the open market, one house is being sold for US $126,000 or close to Jamaican $20 million. Call center worker freed of cocaine charges. A call center worker who was before the court on cocaine charges was freed Wednesday when she appeared in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court. Tedessia King, 24, was accused of attempting to ship cocaine through FedEx in December 2020. The prosecution argued that it was discovered by FedEx agents that parcels of cocaine were hidden in the lining of the packages that were to be shipped. An investigation was launched and Ms. King was arrested in April 2021 and charged with possession of, dealing in and attempting to export cocaine. During the questioning of the FedEx agent by her attorney Richard Lynch, it was revealed that the items that were to be shipped passed through the hands of several individuals without any witness being able to account for its movement. It was on that basis the prosecution decided that it could not go any further with the case against Ms. King. She was then freed by Senior Parish Court Judge Paula Blake Powell. Manchester Custas defends the police against the corrupt label. Following reports by a local university whose research showed that the Jamaica Constabulary Force was perceived by Jamaicans as corrupt, Custas of Manchester, Garfield Green, has moved to defend the police force. The study was published by the Northern Caribbean University last year. But during a recent JCF Manchester Division church service and awards ceremony in the parish, the Custas defended the integrity of the force and called for Jamaicans to embrace a culture of support for the lawmen.
I do not think the police are corrupt, and I refuse to accept such a notion. There are just under 3 million citizens in this country, and a survey sample of approximately 1,000 cannot be a good representation of the people. Between November last year and this month, over 100 constables were promoted to corporals. Part of their promotion is integrity background checks, and these are the men and women who represent the JCF. Reports are also showing that the Jamaica Constabulary Force is operating at a level we never experienced decades ago, and they are bringing more cases before the courts at which they are successful. A corrupt police force would not be reaping the successes that the JCF is reaping today, nor would they arrest their squaddies for committing crimes, and they would not respond in the way they do to calls from the public for help.
Speculation rife that a local government election will be announced today. Speculation is rife that the nation could be told today about the proposed plans for the staging of the upcoming local government election. Jamaica Labour Party leader Andrew Holness has called a meeting with his party's candidates at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James, set for 1 o'clock this afternoon. All constituency chairpersons, members of parliament, council candidates and the party officers are expected to be in attendance. Government MP and Information Minister Robert Morgan said several senior members of the party will be addressing attendees at today's meeting. Asked whether the meeting would be used to announce the local government election, Mr. Morgan noted that the responsibility for calling those polls rests with local government Minister Desmond McKenzie, who has not indicated whether he will be making an announcement.
We will be addressed by the General Secretary, the party chairman, as well as our party leader.
There is widespread speculation that this meeting will be used to announce the date for the local government election. How do you respond to that?
Well, I would say to you that the responsibility to announce the date for the local election resides in the Minister of Local Government based on the omnibus legislation that was passed several years ago, and that is Minister the Honorable Desmond McKenzie. He has the autonomy and the power to make the announcement. He has not advised me that he'll be making an announcement tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see.
Political commentator Lloyd A.B. Smith believes all indications suggest that an announcement will be made today in respect of the long overdue local government election.
If you are to follow the basic requirements in terms of time frame and so on, the government does not have any more window, so to speak, in which to call the election if it were that they are going to stick to what they had announced earlier, that it would be in February. Because once February 29 is passed, then we would be back to stage one, and it would cause the government to lose a tremendous amount of credibility and could also create a constitutional crisis.
Meanwhile, political commentator Dr. Paul Ashley said while he expects the local government election to be announced today, there are several issues which should be addressed by the government.
I'm of the view that the weather, the floods in the east and the west have severely damaged the infrastructure and people and markets. I don't think the people are comfortable with the state of the roads and the state of the markets, and these things need to be fixed before any local government elections are called, in my view.